This is After the Flag, and why use 100 words when 3 will do? What a race that was. We are all absolutely buzzing after the battle in Buriram here this afternoon. A battle won by Jorge Martin as he closes the gap to Pecco Bagnaia in the World Championship down to 13 points. But that doesn't even go close to telling you the story of an absolute thriller here in Thailand. Lewis Suddaby and Simon Crafar are ready to talk you through the key topics of discussion from this Thai Grand Prix. And the one at the top of the list is, what a great Grand Prix that was.
It really was. I can't remember one so good that had so much at stake. You know, the last one, I remember that was absolutely fantastic. Phillip Island a year ago, not a week or so ago. And that one didn't have the same, you know, weight on the rider's shoulders. You know, this one really did, and absolutely fantastic. We'll pick it apart, but you choose where we pick it apart first.
Pure class from all of the top 3 riders involved. Jorge Martin, your winner. Brad Binder was second on the road, although in the end he was relegated to 3rd because he exceeded track limits on the final lap. So Pecco Bagnaia takes the 20 points for 2nd place. A very different kind of Grand Prix to some of the others we've seen so far this season, and a very different kind of race to the sprint yesterday, which was flat out from start to finish. Very much a tactical chess battle here today.
Exactly. That is just like the last great one I mentioned, Phillip Island. And look, we're going to hear from Jorge Martin himself, so we'll throw down to Matt Burt and do that before we pick it all apart.
Yep, let's hear from your race winner then. Jorge Martin closes the gap in the World Championship. Let's get his reaction with Matt.
Jorge, I really don't know where to start at the end of that amazing Thai Grand Prix. From the outside, it just feels like the biggest and most important win of your whole Grand Prix careers. How do you see it as well, Jorge?
Yeah, me neither. I mean, it's difficult to say some word of today's race. I think without Moto3 World Championship race in Malaysia, I think it's the best race of my life because I think I wasn't stronger than them today. But I used all my experience, all the tools I had to win today. You know, Brad is super strong in braking, and I was able to fight back, also with Pecco. I think it was really mental today, and I was able to keep that millimeter of tire left for the last lap to push like qualifying.
We've seen in Mandalika in Australia recently, you said those 2 races were very, very painful, but what a way to bounce back. You led so much of this Thai Grand Prix, and when Brad came through late on, were you thinking, oh no, not again, I've done all the front running, I'm going to be 2nd or 3rd?
Yeah, you know, as I said before, I think, you know, the difficult moments are super tough and are really difficult to get back up and have the motivation, but for sure, they made me stronger. Today, you know, I changed my strategy. Instead of pushing like crazy the first 10 laps, I tried to just keep that 2 tenths, 1 tenth to the second one to save tire, and then for sure when I saw 12 to go, I tried to push, and when I saw I didn't pull away, I said, okay, maybe today a 3rd is a good position. Then when Brad overtook me, I thought he was going to pull away, but at that point I saw he used a lot of the tire and I was stronger again, no? So I was able to overtake him and push like hell to win today, and you know, the feeling is amazing. I think it's a really, you know, hit on the table, no? Like pushing on the table to make the people see that I can win in the battle.
Describe that explosion of emotion over the finish line, Jorge. That was the 4th closest podium in Premier Class history. An incredible race for the Thai fans. We saw you sort of shaking the head over the finish line. There was the fist pump. That must have felt so special to win a Grand Prix like that.
Yeah, you know, it was an unbelievable feeling because coming into the last corner, I didn't know what was going to happen because I didn't know if somebody was going to overtake me, if somebody was going to hit me. So when I closed the last corner and I was already with the throttle, I said, okay, I'm going to win. And when I crossed the finish line, I just went wild. I destroyed the fairing and everything, but I'm so happy. And yeah, really looking forward to rest. I need some disconnection because these three in a row were tough. I think mentally were super difficult for me. And with this hit, I struggled quite a lot. lately. So I hopefully get those energies for Malaysia and Qatar. And Malaysia.
You just said, Jorge, this feels like a push on the table, a bit of a statement victory after what you've been through in Indonesia and in Australia. How important was it to show that you've not just got the speed, but also the mental strength to be fighting for this World Championship?
Yeah, I think when Pecco catch us, I think he was thinking to win, no? Because in the battle he's super strong. We know from other races from that when there is a battle he normally wins, no? So to win him in his comfort zone, I think was super important. And yeah, it's been. I think it's quite mental now. We are so strong both in Sundays, so we have to keep the concentration and try to win more races.
13 points going to Spain. Game on.
Yeah, last time I was 13 points. I took the lead, no. So hopefully we can repeat it and we can arrive, in Valencia on the lead.
Boy, that was an incredible show. Huge congratulations. Well done.
And there he goes, Jorge Martin, your race winner. A lot to unpack from that. What I think was particularly interesting was, because I was thinking this during the race, and he's almost taken the question out of my mouth, in that we've seen Jorge Martin win before and win with his raw speed. We've not seen Jorge Martin win that kind of race before. And as he put it in his own words, he won a Bagnaia kind of race.
That was a very good interview, I think, from Jorge, and very honest. He was really open with us. I enjoyed it. There were so many points that he made that I can't help but agree. The big one is that he's learnt from those mistakes. Tough times teach you more. Totally agree. I think anyone that's lived for a reasonable amount of time will agree with that. Doesn't matter what you do. Jorge, as he said, he didn't have the speed advantage at this one. He just got the start and managed it well. And that was a race that we've never seen from Jorge. And just to show everyone that he can do it, it was, I think, obviously very important for him, but important for the whole paddock to see that he can do that, learn from his mistakes, learn how to manage and win a race in a battle, and management strategy, because you couldn't just go from the start here. He did an awesome job.
He did an awesome job, and of course, given what's on the line, a lot of joy and a lot of satisfaction taken from that. In terms of the race victory, though, Brad Binder missing out today. His wait for a win goes on since Austria 2021, but he contributed so much to the entertainment we saw here today. We can get his reaction now with Matt Burt.
Brad, that was some show, some spectacle here in Buram. So close to ending that 2-year win drought, but you gave it all. You left everything out on the table. So still so many positives at the end of that thrilling Thai Grand Prix.
Yeah, for sure. I think I woke up this morning with the idea that a win was it. It was going to be win or bust, so didn't quite work. To be honest, though, I had a great race. I fought from the beginning to the end. I tried my best to maintain the rear tyre, try to have something extra at the end. I thought I got it right, but 2 laps to go, it said no more. So it was a complicated race, to be honest. And on the last lap, I tried to carry a little bit more roll speed through 4, and just to get onto Jorge's wheel to try and snip up the inside. But I had a little lock when I hit the bump there, and I ended up finding myself half a metre wide. So, trying a little bit too hard on the last lap, I touched the green. But at the end of the day, I think 3rd place definitely comes off a lot better than a crash. So, happy with today's performance. I feel like I couldn't have given any more. And, my team have been doing such a great job, and I can't wait to get them another victory.
Yeah, 3rd, Brad, in the 4th closest Premier Class podium in history. It shows how close you guys were at the checkered flag. When you did take the lead late on from Martin, how quickly did you realise, oh, shucks, I'm not going to be able to pull away here?
Yeah. I made the move. It took me a couple laps to actually get the move done. And then I was going down the back straight, and I had a little bit of pumping in this, just off the centre of the tyre, and I thought, oh no, that's probably the base rubber, because also I had a lot of skipping going into the corners, so I thought, okay, it is what it is. Just make sure you go faster what you got. So I tried my best to pull it to the end. I knew I wanted to win more than anything today, but it wasn't meant to be.
And how good was Jorge on that last lap? He was defending exceptionally well. Of course, he was being aggressive and fast himself. Was there even a glimmer that you might be able to stick it up the inside of him at some point?
Well, I was trying to line it up in 4 when I lost the front. So, like you said, he did a great job. He defended where he had to. He rode a clean lap. The last lap time was really fast considering how buggered the tyres were. So hats off to him. He's riding incredibly at the moment, and I'm looking forward to giving him a more hard time next week.
I'm sure that first win's coming very, very soon. Brad, that was an awesome job. Huge congratulations to you and the team. Well done.
Thanks so much.
Certainly was awesome. An awesome spectacle here in Thailand this afternoon. Surely that race win is coming for Brad Binder. The way he is riding, as he pointed out there, he was prepared to take the big risk on the final lap, fully aware that he was running out onto the green and losing second place. The second place in the end then went to Pecco Bagnaia, who was as low as 7th in those early stages. This was to get a good look into the eyes of the world champion, but for how long will he retain that world championship lead? It's down to 13 points. Second place for him today, and he's with Matt.
Yeah, Pecco, that was an eventful race from start to finish. The 4th closest Premier Class podium in history. An amazing show that you, Jorge, and Brad put on today. Let's go back to the beginning, though, starting from that second row. It was pretty chaotic in those early laps. Some good battles with Marc Marquez. How stressful was that?
I was happy that I had a really good start. So I was already in the front, and I was needing a race just to control everything. But unluckily, it was a nice race for sure, but I started a battle that was very intense for the first 10 laps. And then when I started to push a lot to close this gap, I maybe used too much the rear tire, but was the only possibility to close the gap to the other 2 guys. And then the last part of the race, I was missing a bit of traction, but I'm very happy overall. We did a really good job all the weekend for the race, and I'm just a bit angry that I lost too much point yesterday in the sprint race, and I think we need to improve a bit.
What do you feel was the difference? Was it just purely that Brad and Jorge at the end of the race just had that little bit of extra rear tyre left?
Yeah, for sure. At the start, they were already at the front, so they were doing a good job with the tire. They didn't need to push too much on the rear, and I was in the opposite situation because I needed to recover everything. So I arrived in the last laps with less traction in the last corner, first and third corner. I was gaining a lot in sector 3, but wasn't enough.
So many fans at home are getting super excited by, I think it was the second to last lap. Well, I don't know if you just missed your braking mark going into turn 12, or you were trying to ride around the outside of Binder and Martin. Talk us through that one, because it's already lighting up social media.
Was very close. Was maybe one of the best overtake in the last years. But was missing that to close it. But you know, when you are in outside and you have a guys in the inside, it's easy that the guys in the inside release a bit the brakes and touch a bit you. I was doing the same if I was in this situation. So happy because there was a nice attempt, but I discovered something important for the next races.
And full risk. I mean, that was a real brave and bold move. You got so much to lose in terms of the championship, and I mean, how do you feel about that? I mean, obviously you showed your mentality is to attack and attack.
Always. Today was a race to attack, because I think without attacking today, I was finishing 5th, 6th, because with all the contact I had today was very difficult. So it was very important to reduce the gap with the guys at the front, because they were doing a really good job with the lap time. So we managed everything perfectly, but I missed just a bit the rear. But for the next ones, I'm very happy that we found it again our speed.
And just finally, your championship lead this weekend has been cut in half, but there are still 3 races remaining, 13 points clear. How big, though, could those 4 points be that you got on the last lap when Brad went wide through turn 4?
For sure are helping a lot, absolutely, like always. But I saw that I didn't see well if it was Jorge or Brad, but I saw that someone were on the green, so I was already expecting to gain a position. But you can't have any mistakes right now.
Awesome job, Pecco. We'll see you in Malaysia in 2 weeks' time. Well done.
Yeah, no mistakes from now on in if you want to win the World Championship. We'll come back to Pecco in a moment, but first back to Brad Binder, who finished in second place, put so much into that Grand Prix, and as he said, he was prepared to take the big risk on that final lap, risk losing second place or even more than that. Seemingly for Brad Binder today, just at the point where he thought he had the race in his hands, the rear tyre dropped.
Yes, he said that to me in Parc Ferme. We were talking about the rugby and then the tyre drop. And sorry, I just came straight into the interview and forgot that he got demoted for running on the green. That's my fault, but it was worth it because of our little conversation. Brad, I just want to point out how important it is to get the qualifying. That's what Jorge Martin's doing, getting the qualifying position and the start, so he didn't have to fight, because Brad had to overtake, 4 riders at least, and when you do that, you have to use that rear tyre to punch off the corner to try and overtake on the brakes at the other end, and you consume more tyre. Brad did a wonderful job to do that, but he used more tyre to do that, where Jorge didn't. And then exactly the same as Pecco. Pecco had to, he actually got a pretty good start in that, but because the race was being managed and he wasn't attacking, he was sitting there, he got attacked. You know, that's what happens, because there is more speed there that you don't want to use, so the ones behind you do, they attack you, beat you up. Then he had to use his rear tyre to pass them back. And that's what Jorge did so well this weekend, was qualifying and start, so he didn't have to use so much rear tyre. Both of the others, I mean, Brad, he also attacked earlier, meaning it was a good 6-7 laps to go when he got right up behind Jorge, which these riders don't want to follow closely. The only time you see them follow close is when they want to attack first opportunity, because otherwise they're overheating their front tyre. And it was, like I said, Brad took a while to get by and used a lot of tyre. Then, right at the end, had none left for the fight. But what a fight he put up anyway. Fantastic job.
Yeah, one thing you can be certain of is that Brad Binder is going to leave absolutely everything out there in his attempt to take the race victory. He could see them sideways into the final corner. Jorge Martin is already there, screaming in his crash helmet, well aware that he's going to win the Grand Prix. So second in the end for Pecco Bagnaia, of course, with the post-race penalty of Brad Binder, after very nearly pulling off the overtake of the season, as he was describing to us there. And as he was describing to us there, Jorge Martin did to him exactly what he would have done to Martin.
Yeah, he actually executed it perfectly. When they played the replay there, you could see he did it, but Jorge saw him there and let go of the brake and ran him wide, you know. Otherwise, he was going to pull it off. You can't turn in on someone who's there, otherwise you both go down. You know, that's a schoolboy mistake. So he had to just go wide and didn't make the overtake. Pecco, wonderful job today. He clearly had the speed, you know, all the way through. It was quite obvious here's this overtake. If you watch again, he made it, but he couldn't turn in, and then Jorge's letting off the brake a bit, running him wide. Look how wide Jorge goes, just on purpose to make sure he's, but just what you would do in that same position. The other thing about today was I wasn't sure what was going on with Davide Tardozzi, and I just thought I'd bring it up because Davide was clearly not happy about something. Speaking to the Pramac, Fonty Nieto, Fonty kind of saying it's okay, and then he stormed off with his phone. I'm really curious what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, so clearly the pressure is starting to tell in this World Championship battle. 13 points separate Pecco Bagnaia and Jorge Martin. And whilst Pecco Bagnaia was really done a pretty good damage limitation job today, given where he was in those early stages when he was being beaten up on by the Marquez brothers, he was back down in 7th place once again, kept his nerve. For the second weekend in a row, Bagnaia kept his nerve when it looked like it was going against him in the early stages. But we're getting to a point in the World Championship now with 3 rounds to go and 13 points where that's not necessarily going to be enough for Bagnaia. He's going to have to start beating Martin again.
Yes, and when he said he needs to improve, it's clearly there. For me, it's very obvious. I think what he's talking about is the qualifying and the start, so he doesn't have to go through this, you know. And to do that, you have to turn up on Friday, like Jorge does, and go fast from the off, which Pecco hasn't been able to do so far. So let's see if he can.
Fourth place today for Marco Bezzecchi. Another fine ride for him. He was only 2 seconds off the race win. Another excellent job for him, but I think surely now it is a 2-horse race in the World Championship and Bezzecchi's hopes are gone. Yeah,
it was slipping away after Phillip Island. The sad thing was the collarbone, really. Without that, it would have been great to know what he could do. And I have big hopes pinned on Marco for next year because I think he's a fantastic rider. He's the full package and I think really good for our sport. So I want him to continue on the path he is. But to do what he did, I mean, he got roughed up by, I think it was Marc Marquez early on and lost a few places, made them all back, came back and finished 2 seconds off, you were saying, which is a brilliant ride, you know, to lose that amount more than anyone and to come back to within 2 seconds of that group. Magic with a freshly plated collarbone. You know, he hasn't been able to train properly. Awesome job, Marco.
One other rider, just to touch upon, who was in the podium battle was Alex Marquez in those early stages. He was running in 3rd place when he crashed out of that podium battle. He was the one rider to go for the medium rear tyre today, so we never really got to see how that would have played out in the end, but Alex Marquez crashing out of 3rd.
Yes, and the crash wasn't anything to do with the rear tyre, as you know, because it was the front. As soon as he got on the throttle on a left-hander and he's still trying to turn, the front just let go without the weight on it. And the thing with Alex, lovely guy off the bike, I really enjoy him, but he was the only one worrying me on the early laps. He was doing some overtakes that I was like, you know what I mean? It was a little bit scary. I'm glad nothing happened. He settled in. He obviously had pressure on himself knowing that tyre, he had to get there, but we'll never know, but I can't see it. I mean, if the harder option wasn't going the distance with the leaders, I think there's no chance of that softer option. Michelin pretty much thought exactly the same.
Yeah, and the fact that he was the only rider to run it tells you that the vast majority thought it wasn't a viable option in the end. So 13 points separate Pecco Bagnaia and Jorge Martin. It's such an exciting World Championship with 3 rounds to go. We next head on to Malaysia, where Pecco Bagnaia won last year, but it was a race that Jorge Martin was leading by quite some margin when he crashed out of the race. So very difficult to call this World Championship now. Is there a favourite or is it 50-50 now with 3 rounds to go?
Really, I mean, I would like to be in Jorge's position right now because confidence is up and even his confidence is going to raise again because of what he did today, you know, in difficult circumstances. First time he's really had to manage a tyre and a fight, and he's done it. Plus, he's got the qualifying, you know. So Jorge has to be the favourite right now, meaning I would want to be in his position, but I really can't say that definitively because anything can happen, like I always say, and also Pecco's so clever, and I wouldn't be surprised if him and his engineers figure out a way to fix their little problems. They're obviously working on it. He just mentioned it.
Well, a weekend off. I think we all need a rest after that Grand Prix before the final triple header, the final sprint to the finish in 2023. Malaysia, Qatar and Valencia to come, where we will crown our MotoGP World Champion, and we are still no nearer to knowing who it's going to be. If you're watching us live, the press conference is coming up next for more reaction from our top 3. If not, we will see you in 2 weeks' time for the Malaysian Grand Prix. Do not miss that.
Yeah, but you know how you release the here on the bump?
Here, no?
Yeah, I went tick tick. And I was like,
Wow, limit, eh?
Yeah.
And here you were normally wide, eh?
Yeah,
And you were in front?
to stop there. When I had a bike in the front, it was so different.
I thought you were coming here.
Yeah, I tried, but no luck.
I was hearing your bike go, oh. Okay, I thought I had some more space.